I'm planting a year's supply of tomatoes for my young family of 4 in my small backyard garden. I'll give you all the details, how many tomatoes I plan to plant and the varieties, the estimated yield I will get from each plant, and what I plan to do to preserve the harvest. Then I'll take you and show you how to build these very practical canning shelves for about $100 Canadian. Because if you are going to can lots of tomatoes, you need a place to store them. I plant my large fruiting tomatoes on this back panel trellis in my L-shaped bed. Earlier in the season, I planted carrots in between where I plan to plant the tomato plants. To plant my tomatoes, I dig a hole no deeper than the plant's current root ball. I'm not digging a huge hole and burying the tomato stem, like you may see other gardeners do, because my soil is simply not warm enough deeper into the soil for tomatoes to thrive. I add a little bit of fertilizer to the hole before tucking in the tomato plant to its new home. The variety of tomatoes I'm planting here are called Bread and Salt, a large, meaty heirloom tomato from Russia. While it is not technically a paste tomato, its dense, meaty flesh make it a good tomato for sauce making as well as fresh eating. I'm planting a total of 13 plants on this trellis, 6 on this side of the L and 7 on the other. I have the tomatoes spaced 1 foot apart. I like to prune my tomatoes to a single stem, so this spacing works well for me. If you plant your tomatoes a foot apart, they really do need to be well maintained via pruning, watering, and feeding to produce a good crop. I estimate that each plant will produce at least 10 pounds of tomatoes. 13 tomato plants times 10 pounds per plant gives me an estimated harvest of 130 pounds of tomatoes from this garden bed. Using 80 pounds of tomatoes, I will make 32 pint jars of oven roasted marinara sauce. Using the other 50 pounds, I will make 36 pint jars of roasted tomato soup. My growing 100 pounds of food in 21 square foot garden is where the rest of my tomatoes will go. I'm planting 6 Amish paste tomatoes, which are large, heavy sauce tomatoes. I'm estimating a harvest of 10 pounds per plant for this variety as well, for a total harvest of 60 pounds from this bed. 12 pounds will be made into 12 pint jars of salsa ranchera. 6 pounds will be turned into 12 half pint jars of mild salsa for the kids. 40 pounds will be turned into 16 pint jars of oven roasted marinara. The other 4 tomatoes I have planted in this bed are cherry tomatoes. 3 are Sweet Million and the other one is Barry's Crazy Cherry. We mostly use cherry tomatoes for fresh eating and not preserving. I'm estimating a yield of 6 pounds of cherry tomatoes per plant for a total of 24 pounds. I use tomato spirals to support the tomatoes growing in this bed. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more information on this 21 square foot garden bed designed to grow 100 pounds of food, and or if you want to follow along to see if I meet my overall garden goal of growing 650 pounds of food from my small yard. Our shelving project began by cutting the 2x4s to length. Each shelf required 3 2x4s cut to 9 inches long and 2 2x4s cut to 4 feet long. We joined the shelving frame together with screws, creating a sturdy structure. For the top, we used a piece of plywood that HomeDepot cut to 4 feet long by 1 foot wide. Then we secured it firmly to the frame. This process was repeated until we completed all 6 shelves. Next came the assembly of the unit. We attached 4 2x4s, each cut to 6 feet long, to the corners of the bottom shelf, providing solid support. The challenge was getting the top shelf positioned and leveled. After a bit of effort, we achieved a secure and balanced structure with a solid top and base. The remaining shelves I spaced to create 9 inches of room between each, making it perfect for storing quart-sized jars. I set a larger space about 16 inches between the bottom shelf and the next one up to accommodate my large canning equipment. This simple yet practical build maximizes the narrow space available in our cold room. In the video description, I've included a list of the supplies used along with the cost for each item. I'm excited to have a dedicated space for all my canned goods, instead of them being spread out in every nook and cranny of my house. I started by placing some strawberry sauce, which is basically just some strawberry jam that didn't quite set on me. Then I added some nicely set strawberry jam. Then came the tomato products. I canned tons of salsa last year, and I still have quite a few jars left over. I'm not sure why I thought we went through so many jars of salsa in a year. I only have 3 jars of roasted marinara sauce left. We went through way more marinara sauce than I had expected. Then I have 6 jars of small diced tomatoes, which I had originally canned up for chilies, but we just didn't end up making as many chilies as I expected this year. And on the end here, I have barbecue sauce base, which is basically just ketchup. Now that is a good looking shelf. I am very excited to start filling up the rest of them this gardening season. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.